Hey everybody, it's Rob here, and we're discussing Winter Storm Oaklee, which is slated to bring heavy snow and dangerous icing to parts of the Southern Plains and the Great Lakes region. I won't keep you guys waiting long, so let's go ahead and get right into the models. So here we are looking at the Euro model, which has been pretty much on this storm from the get-go. And as we move already today, actively right now, we have some pretty major freezing rain and sleet falling through parts of Oklahoma and Arkansas as Winter Storm Oaklee is making its way into the Ozark region. This is going to be a pretty major icing event. There won't be a ton of snow with this winter storm, but the amount of ice that we're going to see, the sleet, the freezing rain, is going to be very concerning. That's what's really our main focus right now. And as we move on, this is into the early morning hours tomorrow, Thursday. We still have some freezing rain and sleet falling here through Oklahoma and Arkansas. But this system is starting to make its way a little bit more into Missouri, Illinois. You saw a little bit of parts of Kentucky possibly getting some freezing rain as well. And then as we move into the evening hours Thursday, it's a little bit more of rain. You probably will have some freezing rain and sleet that's going to fall in this zone here between Illinois and Indiana. But it looks like it won't be as bad in this region as it possibly could be. But as it moves into the Great Lakes region, into Ohio, Pennsylvania, New York, we get that freezing rain and sleet returning. You can see a lot of Pennsylvania. It looks like it could get some pretty heavy ice accumulations here. And this would be overnight Thursday into the early morning hours Friday. So PA, areas along the East Coast here, you guys definitely have to be careful because, man, that's showing some very heavy sleet and freezing rain. Specifically, the freezing rain is the main concern. And as we move into the afternoon and evening hours Friday, that's whenever we kind of see a majority of this snow that's off in the northeast areas like Vermont and New York start to move off of the coast. This is where our heavier snow will occur, but it will be for a very brief moment of time. And they should be relatively prepared for this snowfall up there in the north. We're going to go ahead and look at the NAM model, which also shows us what is actively going on right now. The NAM model paints a little bit more sleet and freezing rain that's going to occur here into the lower Midwest, lower Great Lakes region here in the Ohio Valley. The Euro didn't identify this much sleet and freezing rain to occur in this region, but the NAM model, which is a bit of a shorter term model, does identify a little bit more of those icing accumulations down here, and actually very significant sleet and freezing rain across Ohio rather than PA. But it will move off into parts of western PA a little bit closer to the lake here, I believe. And again, this is all going to be for the Great Lakes, the Ohio Valley region. This is all going to be starting kind of midday Thursday, tomorrow, going into the overnight hours Thursday, into the early morning hours Friday. So your early morning commute Friday, if you live anywhere from Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, Pennsylvania, New York, your early morning commute is probably going to be hampered by either some snow if you live on the northern end of this, or some sleet and freezing rain if you live anywhere just south of the Great Lakes. So this could be quite a concern. I know there's been quite a few accidents that have occurred down here in parts of northeast Texas, Oklahoma, and Arkansas with all of that icing. And this is that same system that's moving through the Great Lakes here tomorrow and into Friday night. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at our total snowfall. And again, our snowfall for this system does not look like much, really. You can see tonight into the early morning hours Thursday, we have a couple inches of snow here in Missouri into Illinois. And that's going to be kind of the theme until we get into the early morning hours Friday, into midday Friday. That's whenever we get some of those heavier snowfall accumulations here in New York. You can see some areas seeing 6, 8 inches, possibly even up to over a foot in some spots here, which is right on a couple of these bordering state lines like Vermont and Massachusetts. You guys could see some regional spots of up to a foot. However, I don't think that we're going to be seeing those extreme snowfall numbers. So just know there will be some snowfall, probably 6 inches for up to 6 inches for a majority of this area, but you could see regionally some spots 8, even up to 12 inches. The more concerning issue for this storm is our freezing rain. We already have some of this freezing rain accumulating here, like I said, in parts of northeast Texas and Oklahoma. This model does have it a little bit to the east, right? This accumulation's more through Arkansas. And again, this model also paints more of a concerning picture here for the lower parts of the Midwest, where you do have some pretty significant icing here around the area that the quad state supercell tracked through on December 10. And all of this icing which is going to occur in the Ohio Valley, specifically through central Ohio, places like Columbus, Cincinnati, you'll be affected by this. And then moving into Pennsylvania, areas like Pittsburgh, you'll be affected by this as well. There's a good chance, though, that if some of those colder temperatures do interfere in the mid-levels of the atmosphere, that this ends up being more of a sleet rather than freezing rain event, which would save us a little bit more of that ice. Sleet still causes some icing issues. However, it's not as big of a concern as freezing rain. And we can see a majority of this icing that's going to occur here. This icing patch right here through Arkansas into the quad state region, that's going to be occurring Thursday, which is tomorrow, pretty much through the midday. And then as we go into the overnight hours Thursday, so this is like early in the morning, around midnight Thursday into the early morning hours Friday, that's whenever we have this icing going through Indiana, Ohio, into Pennsylvania. So that's what's going to hamper our commutes. Like I said, Cincinnati, Columbus, into Pittsburgh. If you have to be driving to work, anything like that, this is going to be a pretty major concern for you. I would say ultimately, if you're able to stay home from work, that's the best course of action. However, if you have to go into work, please give yourself extra time, as the roads might be pretty bad. You know, maybe drive your car out, kind of test your brakes, make sure that everything looks good. If things are fine and the roads are maintained well, it's not that big of a concern. However, definitely with ice accumulations up to half an inch, maybe even more in some areas regionally here, it's definitely a concern. And if you're able to stay home, by all means, that's the best course of action. You completely avoid this altogether. So that's about all I have for you, though, for now. There's not really too much on the horizon. We do have a slight risk of severe weather here, I think, coming up Friday, I believe, Thursday or Friday. So other than that, there really is not that much on the horizon. We're kind of in that in-between zone where severe weather is kind of knocking on the door, and the winter storms are going to be coming less and less frequently here as we move into the spring. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate every person that views, likes, subscribes. If you like getting weather updates like this, winter and severe weather, then I recommend subscribing to the channel. I offer my most authentic take on the models and try to provide you guys no BS, right, in terms of what's really going on. So if you have any questions, leave them in the comments. Other than that, I'm all done for today. So thank you so much for watching. Please stay safe out there. Peace out.